Hello guys, I'm back. Sparshalot here. So in the last video, since I touched upon writing, I thought I'd talk more about it. And I also mentioned my blog, so now I'm forced to share the link with you in the description. No, I'm not forced, but I'm still going to do the shameless self-promotion of my blog. So it has not been updated in years, but still, you can take a look at it if you like. So writing. Now, this goes back to what I said in one of the initial videos when I said that three of the most important skills, which are essentially just one skill because they're so interconnected to each other: writing, thinking, and speaking clearly. And writing, in that sense, and otherwise also, is quite interesting. It is, in a way, thinking on paper. I know this is not an original idea, people have talked about it, the likes of, if I'm not wrong, Jordan Peterson and others. They've talked about it, so yeah, it's not my idea. I'm not claiming it. It's like thinking on paper, putting your thoughts on paper. I like to say something to people sometimes, which is the paper. The paper will always listen to you. So whether that comes from personal experience, I don't know. But yeah, I've given this suggestion to people, but they often don't like it. That is just going to make me more depressed. But I don't know. It sort of works for me. Writing about what I'm thinking, what I'm feeling, makes me feel a little bit better. We always say that share it with someone, and maybe you don't want to share it with someone, or maybe you genuinely don't have anyone to share it with. You always have the paper, and paper is a loose term in the modern world. You can use a Word document or anything basically. It can be, I don't know, your notes app or whatever. So about the interconnectedness of all those three skills: speaking clearly, thinking clearly, writing clearly. Our thoughts become more clear when we write them down, and because you have that visual input as well in your thoughts. If you're just thinking, okay, you're thinking, and you might lose your train of thought if you're like me. Often I'd think about something and I would think that I should write this down or I should keep it somewhere safely, but as soon as I sit down to write it, I forget it. So maybe I need a better system. I talked about this in the last video as well. But whatever that is, you still improve your thinking by writing. And if you write well, it's not necessary that if you write well, you can speak well, but it is definitely a step in the right direction. So I would say write. Is often people think about how can I write better, how can I do this, that. I want to get better at copywriting, I want to get better at writing blogs. Well, the first step is to write. It's about fucking around and finding out. And yes, I do, what's the word, admit that these are not my words, they're all stolen words. None of this is new, none of this is not anything that you will not find elsewhere, but I just want to reiterate it because it is so important that if you want to get better at writing, you need to write. You need to stop reading those blog posts about how to become a better writer, how to write a book in 30 days, how to, I don't know, start a blog in 30 days, whatever that is. The first step is to get writing. You can write bad, you can write good, you can write trash, you can write whatever it is. You have to get comfortable with writing first. Then you can incorporate tips. If you just keep on reading about how to prepare for writing, how to get tips and tricks for writing, you won't get too far. You need to start writing, and if you can, you must get feedback, and you must read about writing. And to become a better writer, you also need to read a lot. This is also something a lot of people have said before. So if you want to be a better writer, you need to read more and better. And writing, in a way, like a lot of other things, is much more than those words that are there on the paper or on your screen. Or at least that's how I think about them, or feel about them, maybe. Or that's how I imagine it, in a way. That someone can paint a picture with their words, right? We see that often in poetry. We can also see it in prose, but more so in poetry. So, in a way, everything becomes much more than itself, and it exists in its excess. Now, that went on a different tangent, a little far from writing. But still, what I'm trying to say is when you read something, it's not just those words that you've read and understood, it's about what you think further. Okay, what was written, you think about it. That, in a way, sharpens your thinking as well, right? So, you should write. You should definitely write. I don't care how you write. I write trash, but I write all the time. Doesn't matter to me, and it shouldn't matter to you. So you should write, in a way, because it is important. So what I was saying was, what's written, there's much more to it. You can construct worlds with it. When you read fantasy fiction, there are amazing works in that genre where they create complete worlds with their words. And how interesting is that? And how powerful that is. That is the power of writing. That is the power of words. Some words have been immortalized, be it through the religious texts that we have today, be it the Bhagavad Gita, the Quran, the Bible, or any other religious text. Those words, those writings have survived all these years, and people believe in a lot of it. That is the power of writing. Sure, we could have continued with our system of orating and verbal transfer of ideas, thoughts, philosophy from the past. That's what we had initially, right? Especially for a long time in India. Knowledge was passed down through listening and speaking. The gurus, the teachers, would give sermons, they would talk about their ideas. That's how they were immortalized. And throughout time, they could get a little changed and all those things. But when we developed the system of writing, that's when our transfer of knowledge became so immense. And that is, in a way, the foundation for the information overload or the vast sea of information that we have today in the information age, in the digital age. The roots for it go back to when we developed writing as a system. I really think it takes me a few minutes to get into the jive, and as soon as I get to the substance, the time limit for the day runs out. Hopefully, we can take care of that as we go on. And that is all for today. I hope you'll write. Bye bye. See you next time.